Check, check. All right, everybody, move through the line as quickly as you can. We got a guest that's going to be zooming in, so we want to make sure our timing is right. So let's move as expeditiously. Boss man, move the line. All right, welcome everybody. As we continue to move the line along, obviously we've got something special today. One of the things we're doing over the next 2 weeks is making sure that we have as much information as we can to all of you about game day, access, operations, any questions you may have in relation to game day operations. So today we have FAMU PD is represented here, as well as on Zoom. We will have the responsible officer from Tallahassee Police Department, because it's actually two-pronged to enter Bragg Stadium. And if I'm correct, you interact with TPD first, and then FAMU PD. So it was important to have both of those aspects here so you can know what to expect on game day. Next week, we were supposed to have the ticket office as well as Mr. Travis Glasgow. They will be next week. We're breaking it up. But Coach Cozy is bringing with him our offensive coordinator, Henry Burris, which is we need to hear from him of how the offense is coming along. So we got a great show planned for everyone today. Thank you all for joining us. I just want to say I'm extremely proud to say that Venom Landing opened yesterday. That's the new dormitory. They don't call it dormitory. I call it dorm. They correct me every time on campus. I'm sorry, it's a living, learning facility. But for us, when we went to school, it was what? A dorm. So my mama called it a dorm. I'm going to call it a dorm. But it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. And what that has done over the last several years, FAMU now has housing for 1,400 students within about a 200-yard space and a cafeteria. So that's convenience. And those living learning facilities have classrooms in them. They have study rooms in them. And they're very conducive to our students having the best experience. Wi-Fi all over the place, and plus you can look out your room and watch the Marching 100 practice. The next thing I want to talk about is the FAMU versus Mississippi Valley State game. Those tickets should go on sale very soon. I had gotten several inquiries about that game, called around, didn't get any information. But as soon as I wrote the article, then all the people that should have called me, all of a sudden they start calling from everywhere. Well, I called y'all and you didn't tell me any information, and people kept asking for the information about the game to buy tickets. So tickets for the FAMU versus Mississippi Valley State game in Atlanta should go on sale very soon. We talked to the athletic director of Mississippi Valley. As we know, that's their game. That's their home game. So they were responsible for all arrangements. So it looks as if those things are falling into place, and those tickets should go on sale very, very soon. At this time, we'd like to bring up Executive Director of the Rattler Boosters, Mr. Selvin Cobb. And if our guest happens to come on, we will change directions and go ahead and talk about the parking situation. But Selvin?
Good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, I would just like to thank everybody that came out to the golf tournament that we had last Saturday. It was a great event. Some people made some hole-in-ones, not really, but we tried to. But it was a great event, and we'd like to thank everybody that donated or participated.
Hold on a second. Sergeant Varble, if you can hear us. Okay, hold on a second. Sylvan, we're going to take a break and go ahead and address the Sergeant, can you hear me again?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me turn you up a little bit in. Okay, test one more time, Sergeant Varble.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Okay, I'd like to, Sylvan, we're going to come back to Sylvan, but while we have Sergeant Varble on, he's in the middle of a conference and he decided to jump in, so we appreciate his time and want to be cognizant of his time. We'd like to bring up members of the FAMU Police Department who will talk us through the traffic flow situation on game day and take some questions, and Mr. Varble as well will, as a matter of fact, let's go in order. The first people you will contact coming to the stadium will be Tallahassee Police Department. So Sergeant Varble, do you have any insight on what we can expect on game day?
Sure. So as in years past, we are going to be there for the traffic control around Bragg Stadium at 4 hours before kickoff. That's when you'll see us take the intersections and start restricting the traffic flow for boosters only within the footprint of the Bragg Stadium, whether it be the parking garage or down via Perry Street to get into the parking area that way to get right there next to the stadium. Coming from the south, we'll be doing the same thing at Okaloosa for all the regular home games. For homecoming, we will stretch out to Osceola, which I believe is now Rudy Hubbard Way. And so, again, if you have the booster pass, if you have a vendor pass, we will get you through. If you are with the university itself, a university vehicle, you have your university credentials, we will let you within that footprint. We just ask that that be very restricted between Bob Hayes Way and Okaloosa, where the vendors normally set up for the university, because we know that's a heavy pedestrian traffic area, and we want to restrict vehicles. We do allow the visiting band bus, the visiting team bus, and all those to come through there, but we'll give them a police escort with the motorcycle along with our partners from FAMU PD. They'll usually, Mr. King will help out as well with that escort.
All right, thank you very much. So is that very clear? The hang tag issued by the athletic department with your space number will get you access 4 hours in advance to your spot. If not, you will be directed out on Okaloosa and what used to be Gamble. What is it? Perkins.
30 Perkins.
Yeah, Perkins. You'll be directed out that way to outward parking lots if you do not have the proper credentials to access that. So that handles and answers the outer aspect. Are there any other questions while we got Sergeant Varble on? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Sergeant, we really appreciate you coming on. And
Sure thing, Vaughn.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you because there's going to be a lot of victories in Bragg this year.
Yes, we hope so.
All right. Once again, thank you so much, Sergeant Varble. And now we'll let FAMU PD come up and address the room.
Good afternoon again. My name is Officer King. I'm with the FAMU PD, and I serve as the special operations for football liaison between athletics and then also the FAMU Police Department. We're so excited for this upcoming season. We're here to answer any of your questions that you may have concerning the football game itself or operations. We're here to answer your questions. Were there any questions?
There's a question online. There's a question online that says, how will buses be able to drop off passengers?
So once again, if they contact us before the game, and then we'll make sure we get an escort for them, so they have a drop-off point, and then also where that bus could park normally, which is down at FAMU DRS.
All right, as we go around the room, make sure if you're online and you have a question, please put it in the chat and we will get back to it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm not sure if this is FAMU PD or the security that takes our tickets.
Right.
Each year we have a problem because they don't, let me rephrase, about bringing in seats.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
It looks like that sometimes they get confused about whether we can bring in seats or whether we can't. So I don't know if that's FAMU PD or the security that's hired to.
So it is on the security team that's hired, Century, and I'll relay that to them also, so we can get that cleared up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because we are allowed, they just have to be a certain size and we
Right.
can't have back seats.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. You're correct.
Any other questions?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is there any access for a person who's wheelchair bound, not a season ticket holder, they don't have a hang tag, but how can they get access to get close to the stadium just to be dropped off?
So if they, once again, I'll have to get you the number for the ADA compliance, which they'll be able to assist that person in coming in the stadium, tell them where they go to get dropped off, and then once which interest they may come in. So I'll make sure I get that ADA number to you, Mr. Montel, so he'll take care of you with that. So, yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This may be you, maybe some others' responsibility, but if somebody is parked in your space, who handles that?
So it's athletics. It's their responsibility to take care of that, which they have the security roving around the stadium in such a case. But if you need to reach out with them, it'll be Mr. Glasgow and his staff that'll take care of that, and they'll tow the car if you would like out of your space.
And Mr. Glasgow will be here next week.
Are you guys controlling the parking? Because when I park, there a couple roads down from me, people has a parking, then they have a tent halfway in the road.
Right.
Sometimes I leave a little early, so I gotta wait, and then you got people constantly walking up and down the passageway and stuff.
Right. Yes, sir. So once again, that's on athletics. They take over the parking lot at Bragg at 5 p.m. on Fridays, the day before games. So anything with parking, tailgating, tents, that all goes to athletics. Yes, sir. With Mr. Glasgow.
And the policy is that's every parking lot on campus.
Right.
At 5 o'clock on Friday on game days, FAMU Athletics takes those over on Fridays before game days. So that's a question, hold that for next week for Mr. Glasgow.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other questions? All right.
Yes, sir.
Well,
I'm a yield.
we're not going to let this guy here who started for 4 years, all MEAC defensive back, Petey Evers, William Petey Evers, not say anything. Peter, get up there and say something.
How y'all doing, Rallies? Man, I tell you, I'm sitting here just soaking it up. I'm thinking about how far I've been blessed to come and be here amongst my brothers and sisters in Rattlers and be on this side and my brother Vaughn. So that's why I'm just sitting there quiet. I'm just soaking it up and really to see the support. And I'm sitting here, and I don't like to speak before the chief. My role now is the deputy chief. And so I'm sitting here thinking, how can we, and I might be over speaking, I do it all the time, she get on me, to really make it more easier for you all to get into that stadium during game day. I'm normally floating and kind of free, kind of floating around. And I want to try to see, can we set up something where you all can come in at a certain time or have a radio or something when y'all get there in numbers that we can make sure you all get in and get seated and not have to be caught amongst all the rest of the crowd. Because you all, especially you all going the extra mile for the university and doing great things. So that would be something I'll express with the chief and get with Mr. Whistle, Mr. Vaughn, and also Officer King is our special operation guy. So that's what I'm thinking. How can we make it easier for you all once you get there? I know Sergeant Barber has that TPD has the outside and you had your credentials to get in. But once you get to that point, it's still a lot of traffic and a lot of crowd and a lot of things that need to be moved, even getting to your parking spaces. I know athletics handle a lot of the spaces and all that, but the towing part, I think that's when we can get with the university with Mr. Glasgow, because someone in your space, you pay for it. We don't need to be trying to contact this person and that person. They're in your space. It need to be towed. You know, so we need to have a towing service that's on service, on call. That's normally what they do, and see can we get somebody post up at that stadium down by the practice field. And so see can we get that. So those are two questions I'll take back to the chief. How can we make it easier for you all with your credentials once you break that first barrier of TPD to get where you need to go, coming in on Thea Gibson and Bob Hayes, if you turn it going in that way, or Osceola coming at the backside? How can we make it easier for you all to get from that point into the stadium area parking lot to get in your park? So other than that, hubba.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Online it says, will vehicles with stadium parking tags be allowed access to the stadium on homecoming after traffic has been shut down and prepped for the parade?
So unfortunately, that's a no, because all the turnaround that we have to do after the parade and going into the game day operations, so we would not allow any vehicles down there at that time to the stadium on homecoming. Ma'am. So I'm not exactly sure now, but I will update you on that time right now. So it really depends on how long the parade goes, and how many entries that they have in the parade. That really depends on the time that we will be able to do that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Hold a second. Hold a second. I noticed after all of the games, there's a bottleneck of traffic. Like you just know where in the hell to go. You're just going in circles. Is there a way that we can get the traffic in a different type of a flow, all out, away from the stadium, like you do over at Florida State? Get it all going one direction.
So normally our traffic pattern after the game, we try to get everybody to go south on Althea Gibson. But of course you run into the people that want to make that left going northbound also. But this year I know working with Sergeant Robert, we're going to enforce some more things as far as once the game is over in vehicle traffic. So those are things to come this year. Yes, sir.
This question is for Mr. Evers. Mr. Evers, we are proud of your service as a Rattler, and I'd like to request that if you aren't a member of the Boosters, would you consider joining the Boosters today?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'll cut the check today. Let's go. There you go. Let's
All
do
right.
it. Let's do whatever we need to do. Yes, sir. They say if you don't ask, you know.
Let me tell you how special that guy is. That guy started for Ken Riley, Pro Football Hall of Fame. He started at defensive back for 4 straight years. And then went and played with the Falcons for some years. So that's a special young man right there. And I like both of them. They always take care of me when I'm on campus. We have a good time. So we got one more. Oh, boss man. Uh-oh, y'all better get your thinking caps on for this one here.
Okay, you are saying that traffic patterns
Yes, sir.
going out will be one way.
Yes, sir.
That's on all
Going
of
southbound on Althea Gibson.
just that one road.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So what about some of the inner?
They will be open. You can make those lefts like on Osceola Street.
Well, no, what I'm saying, Holton Street, Saxon Street, Pasco.
Right.
Is it any way that you can just have everything going south on those streets? Because you got traffic on both sides and you just can't get through.
I understand what you're saying. So yes, sir. That's part of what we're working on because we have a lot of traffic that goes out into the neighborhood, and to try to get more control of that. Because once they make it past the footprint of the stadium, we're trying to better control that this year. So that's one of the things that we are working
just
on,
let
just trying to
everything
figure
go
that out.
south.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Okay? Thank you.
Oh, that wasn't that bad. Y'all got off easy. All right, let's thank our officers for coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, before I rudely interrupt it, Selvin, could you please come take back over where you left off?
Okay, I won't just take back over. I'll just start all over again, because I have a short memory. I think I began with thanking everybody for coming out to the tournament. We had a great turnout. We had some attempted hole-in-ones, and we just had a great turnout, and we want to really thank our sponsors. We had several sponsors. I can't think the name of them because I've forgotten some of them, but I won't name any of them yet. But they will be notified of their patronage of the contribution that they made. It all goes to the FAMU athletic boosters, not boosters, but to the athletics. All the funds that we get in Rattler Boosters, it goes directly to Florida Agriculture and Mechanical Department of Athletes. It all goes there. With the event that we're having, I'm going to call it the celebration, because we are going to be celebrating all of our student athletes, our bowling team, our indoor track, our football team, our men and women's basketball team, and our cheerleaders. We're going to be celebrating them on the 23rd of August, and starting at 2 o'clock. And we want to be sure that everybody could get a chance to come in and celebrate with us. On the other hand, I have Ronald Joe is going to come up, and he's going to give us some highlights of some seats that he has. And is Johnny here? Yep, Johnny is here. Johnny going to tell us about the few tickets that he have left to get the TV. And also, I have a made-to-order Rattler Boosters, I guess you would call it wagon. It's not a wagon that you pull, as when you were small kids you used to pull. This is a big wagon, and you'll get a chance to look at this wagon and bid on it as well. So we want you to come out and look at that wagon as well. So one other thing that I have while I got the mic is there are 5 tickets left for the Eddie Jackson Rattler Boosters Quarterback Club. 5 tickets. We got 5 tickets left. We've already sold 1 table, and we got another 5 tickets left. So if you want to sit to the Eddie Jackson football table, you got 5 tickets left, so you'll be able to come in and sit. Wilma has the tickets in the back, and you can get those tickets as well. Okay? And I think Wilma told me she has 1 orange polo shirt. This is the polo shirt like the one that I have on. It's orange. I have 1 medium orange polo shirt. Large, I'm sorry, it's large. 1 large polo shirt. And you stop by there, and she'll take care of you. somebody waving their hand. Which one? Oh, here she is. Okay. She's getting the shirt. Okay. All right, Ron.
Good afternoon. I'll be brief. We still have seats available on the 23rd in Al Lawson Center. 75, stand behind the podium so they can see me. Yes, sir. Is that better? The individual seats are $75 and a table is $600. Come on out, let's see what we can do to get these seats all sold up. We're on the website, so if you put in the website FAMU Rattler Boosters, a thing that looks like this will pop up. And when it pops up, you can click it along here. It is activated, and you can use your credit card to buy any one of these things. You can buy a seat, you can buy a table, and you can make a contribution as well. And this site doesn't charge you for using it. So if you listen to it, it's not terribly easy, but it's relatively easy because I can get through it. And you go down to the bottom and it'll tell you, and you can put zeros down there, and then it won't cost you anything. A $600 table will only cost you $600. It can be paid for, and we'll get the information to come directly in there. And also on this sheet that comes up, it has names at the bottom with telephone numbers: Selvin Cobb, Vernay Randolph, guy named Ron Joe, and then Ernest Lane. And you can call us, and if you're having trouble getting through that, it'll help you to get through it so you can do it. So the key is we still need to come on out. Doors open at 1 o'clock. We kick off at 2 o'clock, and all kinds of things like that are going on. You should come out and do it. I have some things here that I sold some last week, and I just want to make you know that I brought more. These little kits, do your fingernails and all that kind of stuff, but it's orange, and it has a Rattler booster thing around it, and it has a green one that does this one, so you can do that. I'll have some over here so you can come and look at them and can buy them. These are $10. These are $10 a piece. That's good. You can have them. This is a little square. It also has Rattler boosters on the back of that. These cost $5 each. So you can get one for $5 each, or you can get 3 of them for $10. I'm gonna say that again. You get one for $5, but you can get 3 for $10. That's Ron Joe Tanker math, but it works. It will work every time. And then we have some things like this. This you can put pins or whatever kind of things you want to put in this, but it's got a FAMU logo on the front here, and it's made in white, and we have one made in black, and I have some here for you so you can buy some today. Now this pouch is $3 a piece, or you can get 2 for $5. All right, thank you very much. Somebody, Bill, Johnny, come on up here. Johnny is, we're selling tickets for $20 a piece. The TV is 75 inches long. We can't move it. We either have to ask the sergeant major over there, or we got to ask Johnny to come and pick it up and bring it here on the day of the election. You do not have to be present to win, so you get a $20 ticket, get as many as you want to. You win it, and you have to take it home. They're also not going to ship it, but it's a good chance for you to win a very good TV for $20. Is that good enough? That's good enough. I got the ticket. And he has some tickets right here, so if you want to buy some today, he's got some tickets. I got some too, so if you back up, you run out, I got you. Thank you very much. Save you 2 pouches, white and black, or all white? Amen.
All right.
I'd just like to make this announcement. Today, we received a check from Mr. William Evers for $750 to become a lifetime booster member. And I have a table at the kickoff meeting, so I'm going to also give him a ticket to the kickoff meeting.
That's my team, mate. Welcome to the lifetime membership, brother. All right. Last week, we had some people that donated on Cash App. Shirley Baker donated 25. Donald McBride donated 100. Kenton Floyd donated 50. Dexter Martin donated 100. Leonard Daniels, who was not here, since he couldn't be here, he sent his money. That's pretty good right there. So thank you for that. We'd also like to announce that Commissioner Carolyn Cummings, I call her my auntie, just paid her other $500, her second $500, our newest Grand Rattler. Give her a round of applause, Commissioner Carolyn Cummings. And I want to remind everyone, if y'all saw my emails, we are concentrating on the nutrition campaign at this moment. That is the greatest need. That account number is 2148 in the FAMU Foundation. And my good friend, Deacon Matthews, called me and said, Wilson, challenge everybody on your email to bring money to the nutrition campaign. So I'm going to lead by example. I brought my $100. That will go toward the nutrition. I'd like to say that Coach Cozy wrote a check, and you know how old people fold it up and you don't know what it is. Well, he wrote us a check for $300 for nutrition last week. So we appreciate Coach Cozy for, I'm sorry, $350. Thank you, Coach Cozy, for investing back into the program. Thank you, thank you. So if anybody has brought their checks for nutrition, we will accept them. Feel free to bring them up or take them back to Wilma and Al at the accounting table. And once again, we want to thank Chief Audrey Alexander for arranging both her officers and for TPD to be on there. I thought that was really big of her. She said, can you do a Zoom? I said, we can make that work. So it's really good to have great people on campus that are sentimental to our efforts. And so next week we will have Travis Glasgow here, as well as Regina Battle from the ticket office. We wanted to break it up because we knew this parking could get a little lengthy. As far as two more responses, I saw one response asked about if parking spaces on the practice field. I don't think anyone will be practicing on a practice field, parking on a practice field. It took us 2 years to get that field back from the parking on it, so I'm pretty sure no one will be, not even the players, will be parking on the practice field. Secondly, I'd also like to congratulate Rick Kinsey and Maurice Pickett from the Rattlers in Arms. They raised money, they raised funds to buy the canopies for the golf team. And let me tell you, if you ever play golf, the worst thing that can happen to you is you be standing in one place with that sun beaming down on you. But if you drive by on Althea Gibson, by the rec center, you can see the canopies there. And Ricardo Kinsey and Pickett have been supporting our golf team very, very well over the last several years. So we want to take this time to thank them for that effort in supporting our student athletes. Yeah, that's an applause. And they did it in a short time. Coach Rice made the request, and just like that, it's up. Okay, so are there any other questions? Don't forget, next week we will have Travis Glasgow, as well as the ticket office, Regina Battle, will be here. So if you've got questions, and also someone asked about the ADA. Once we get that number, we will post that next week. We'll make sure online, we'll put it in the chat, the ADA number, as well as the number for buses to call so that you can get the escort in if you're dropping off people. Celebration chain?
The memory chain. Turnover, right. Okay. All of you all are probably not familiar with this, but last week, I was over at the, after we left here, I was over at, talking to Mo at the, what is Mo? The strength and conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning coach. And he said, you know, we had a memory, we call it the turnover chain. He said the turnover chain that we had last year broke. And I got a feeling that we're going to need one because we're going to get a lot of turnovers this year. So I think I called Wilbur and I called a couple other people. And he gave me a figure that he thought that it would cost. And he gave me a figure and we went out. And not only were we able to get a new turnover chain, but we're also going to get a belt where the individual will have the turnover chain, and he will wear a belt as well. So when we get the turnover chain, when the TV hits him, there's no way you can miss him because he's had the belt and he's got the chain as well. So that's what you were talking about, that the boosters is going to buy for the.
Did anybody ask Coach if that was okay?
No, I don't think. No.
I was on the text.
He was on the text when I. Yes, he was on the text about it. Yeah, okay, all right. Perhaps he would clarify this when he gets up. Okay.
All right. All right. Money, 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 money. Y'all know I like it when we get. Cyrus Everett took up the, I call this the Deacon Matthews challenge because he called and he didn't suggest that I do this. He made sure I did this. So I gave my 100 to Wilma. Cyrus Everett, we got $100 from Cyrus Everett. Got 100 from Cleo Johnson. Got 100 from Alcy Johnson. We got 50 from Boss Man O'Neal Jackson. We got 100 from Jolene Kershaw and Dina Lee Ponso. We got 100 from Bill McCray. We got 100 from Ira Gaines and Cynthia Gaines. And we got 100 from Henry Bloomfield and Phyllis Bloomfield. And look like Zach Ansley is handing over his $100.
No. That's from Mr. Evers in the back again.
Hey, Petey, make sure you come back next week. And I want to say this. One of the things that I don't use this term that often. One of the things that I have a pet peeve about is former athletes not giving back. I got a real problem with that because somebody helped you along the way. And which is why I continue to do what I do, because someone helped me along the way somehow. You might not know it, but they did. And so it's always special when athletes give back, because for some reason, some have the attitude that they don't feel like they need to give back, but you do. And so, Petey, we appreciate you. Nobody else shake Petey down before he leave. He left enough here today. Don't forget to check. We got the T-shirts in the back. That's a hooded shirt. Man, I need to get back there. Y'all make sure y'all check out the shirts in the back. Them hooded shirts look good. But, I thought we did last week when they donated. I'm going to have to look back at the broadcast, but I would like to thank you all for your donation, and Ms. Hadley for your donation. I'm sorry, Miss Mary. Okay, there's for people online. That's Mary Williams, and Mrs. Hadley donated last week. I thought I did it online. I'm gonna have to go back and check the broadcast. I think I said it. I'm almost positive I did. But if I don't mind thanking you again, because we really need to make sure that our student athletes, this is not just football. Literally nothing we do is just for football. Probably only the cooling station is probably the only thing that we do that only benefits football. Everything else we do supports the male and female athletes equally. Every sport can come over there and grab some nutrition. So I just want to emphasize that, because there was a notion one time 50% go to male athletes, 50%. It's kind of ridiculous to even break it up like that if it's all in the same pool to begin with. We are supporting every student athlete with everything we do. And if they want to come get in the cooling chamber, I'm sure Coach Cozy wouldn't mind. If the tennis players get tired and hot, come on over. But anyway, thank you so much for these donations. Once again, if you are online, the Cash App is $220QB Club. If you're making a check or donating online at the FAMU Foundation, the account number is 2148. 2148. So let me tell y'all the bad situation I put Coach Cozy in last week. I heard they were having a scrimmage Saturday and it was closed to the public. I'm like, man. So I started thinking, how can I want to see that scrimmage? Alfred Paramore, another $100. Thank you. So I called Coach Cozy. I said, as the president of the 220 Quarterback Club, if I don't bring a camera and don't report on what I saw, can I come? I could see the laughter in his text. They told me how I could come watch the scrimmage, and I left there feeling really good Saturday. That this coaching staff is doing an amazing job to see our team that far along. And I know, coaches are never satisfied. A coach that's satisfied gets fired quick. But what I saw, how far along our team is, and them plays that Coach Burris was calling, I was like, yeah. We're gonna, so I think that's one of the reasons Coach Burris is here, our offensive coordinator. But without further ado, the head coach of the Florida A&M Rattlers football team, James Colsey III.
Thank you. Wow. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. I apologize. Good to see you. Good to see you. I got a proper respect, right? Proper respect. Miss Jackson, I'll get you that number. Is Miss Jackson back there? I'll get you that number before we go, okay? All right. We're going to be attending Mount Zion this upcoming Sunday. We're going to bring the football team. And our guys, you can't. For some of our players, you just can't tell them, right? You have to kind of give them an idea of who people are and what they've done. So today we talked about, hey, we're getting ready to go to Mount Zion on Sunday. Just so you guys know, we can't force guys to go to church. We can only recommend. And so I said, they're like, hey, they know obviously Pastor Holmes, Reverend Holmes at Bethel and off of Tennessee. They had an idea who that was. But then when I mentioned, Mount Zion and what the people that belong to that church and who they may be, and I said, and Miss Santiago, who's our chief of staff, made mention that these are the people directly responsible for the BRZ. And the guys were like, okay, we're going to be there. Yep. We ain't got no choice to make sure we attend this one. So it's going to be a big number, Ms. Jackson. Yes, ma'am. I apologize. Greater Mount Zion. Greater. Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that. Greater Mount Zion. So Greater will get a good amount of our football team this upcoming Sunday. Now, they were going to cook, right? Ms. Jackson, they are cooking, correct? Yeah, you'll get a good amount. You're gonna get a good amount. You know, just so you know, we go at 9 in the morning, right? We practice this morning at 9, but before practice, breakfast, special teams meetings, offensive meeting, defensive meeting, call up. We do all of that before 9 o'clock hits, and so like for this morning, breakfast was at 6:15. Right, so that's what time they have to be there, right? But then, you know, the captains tell the team that they got to be there 5 minutes before we start. So, you know, even though it may be 12, almost 1 o'clock to you guys, right now it feels like about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon for my staff, right? And on top of that, we'll stay late. What time did we leave last night, Hank? By the 11:30. So, you know, we're putting the time in. You know, I will say, Hank and I last night we were probably a little bit delirious when we were talking to each other at the time. But I will say this, you know, it's training camp. Coaches are making sure guys are leaving home with the proper information that they need to have to get ready for the next day. But, you know, it is, and I think when they asked me yesterday, I mentioned dog days. I said, you know, these are the kind of days where, you know, when you get to the game on Saturday and you're trying to fight through adversity, you think back to these days because you were able to fight through these things, right? You're able to fight through the morning practices. And, you know, I mean, we've had some days where the temperature might have been 90, but it didn't feel like 90. And I know you guys are really, really familiar with with our Tallahassee weather at times. But had a practice today. You know, we really, really good practice. You know, we didn't lose anybody as far as cramps and hydration or anything of that matter, which means our team is slowly and surely getting ready to get into game shape. You know, our practice today included not a lot of hitting, but it was just a lot of fundamentals. You know, going over fundamentals. You know, working on corrections and just things that, you know, we taught a lot today. You know, a lot of people think you just got to run plays and that's how you get better, but you know, today was a practice of just trying to just work on basic fundamentals, right? To understand, you know, we talk about details, we talk about discipline, all of those things. So that was what our day consisted of. So, you know, we have a quarterback battle, you know, and I told y'all when we name one, what place was I going to name it at first? What did I say I was going to do it at? I'm going to do it here. But it ain't going to be today. It won't be today. I ain't gonna do that today, but yes, I will make sure we make that announcement here, which is that's gonna be a Wednesday, ain't it, Vaughn? That'll probably be a Wednesday. Okay, all right. I'm gonna introduce our two guests that I have. Well, not your two guests, I guess, to you guys, but two of my coaches that came with us today, and I'm gonna let them speak a little bit. Don't get them with questions yet. But I want them to make sure they speak to you guys, and then I'll kind of say my piece at the end, and then answer any questions we may have after that. Is that okay? All right. I'm gonna go with Hank. I'll go with our newbie. We'll go with the new guy that's been here before. He hasn't been here yet, so we'll go with him first. All right. So this is our co-offensive coordinator, our offensive line coach, and. He's got a very, very great resume. Spent the summer with the Baltimore Ravens this summer, and came back to us after that, and has done an amazing job with an amazing group. And I want to. He didn't know I was going to say this, but I felt it's important for me to say. We had a couple offensive linemen that came in late, and they were going to be strictly walk-ons, and they have done. You know, they did everything they needed to do to get in school. You know, they one kid came to our portal camp, and then the other kid came from high school, and you know, they were just going to come in and be walk-ons, right? They were going to come in and be scout team guys, and little did we know that they were actually going to have to contribute, right, to certain things that we are doing offensively, right? And this is just to me a sign of how great of a coach he is, because even though those two guys weren't expected to maybe do much for us this training camp, they have fit in quite nicely, and you don't even know that those are the two guys because of how well that they're doing in training camp. Now, don't get me wrong. You guys know the Grables and the Charles Davis and the Ricky Taylors. I mean, those are our guys that are starters, and they're doing well. But to see these two walk-on guys that are just coming in and just fitting in and doing everything that they're being asked to do, and they're getting yards. Like the offense is still having success with those guys being in the lineup. Is just a tribute to Coach Williams and what Coach Burris is doing on the offensive side. It ain't really about how good you are. It's just about you just doing your job and doing it to the best of your ability and playing hard. And that's what those guys do. He's going to tell you he likes the blue collar, lunch pail guys, and that's a lot of the guys he's had, and they've had success no matter who he's been coaching. And I just, he don't know that I was going to say it. He thought I was going to probably talk about Grable and all these all-conference guys, but the type of offensive coach he is really, really showing with some of the young guys that we're having right now, because they are fitting right in and doing an amazing job. But our co-OC, offensive line coach, Coach Cedric Williams.
Appreciate you, Coach. How y'all doing? Y'all look good today now. I see a few faces. What's Evers? Where you at? Thought I saw Mr. Evers over here. All right, Mr. Jackson. Know you've seen you a few times on the sideline. Good to see you again. Thanks for having us. It's an honor and privilege to be here, man. I've heard a lot of great things about this setting right here. I heard y'all a rough crowd now. Y'all don't play any games. But I am the offensive line coach, and as you know, it's up front. I'm definitely excited to be here. Got a great group of guys. Like Coach mentioned, obviously we got the older guys. We got 4 seniors and 1 junior currently starting right now, and they've been phenomenal. And since I've gotten here, I've been just challenging them to another whole level. Because in order for us to be successful offensively or as a team, we got to be disciplined. And that's just doing the little things right. Showing up on time. If the meeting starts at 8 o'clock, don't show up at 8:01. Don't show up at 8:02. Show up on time. There's an attention to detail. We'll do many walkthroughs, and obviously we'll stick together. Obviously, one thing that we need a little bit more depth. But the young guys, like Coach mentioned, they've come in and they've been tremendous. Because, I'm about the blue collar guys, like he just said. I always critique effort first. How hard are you practicing? How hard are you playing? Anybody can. A lot of guys have been blessed with the proper size to play the position, and obviously that's what we look for. But I want guys that are going to work hard. Because I critique that first, and if you're playing to the echo of the whistle, all right, y'all heard me? Not just to the whistle. So you may see a few personal fouls here and there. All right? I don't encourage that, but I always tell guys to play to the echo of the whistle. So sometimes I want their mindset to stay getting after it. So. But we got a great group, man. Things have been great, since I've gotten there. Guys are healthy. That's the main thing. So making sure they wear their knee braces, and they're working hard. But again, excited to be here. Very excited. I know I'm at the #1 public HBCU in the country. All right. So I do not take that for granted. And I always tell the guys that that is so important. Very proud of that, man. So obviously this the Rattlers represent themselves. So every day I'm gonna give you all I got. I promise you that. Our guys are gonna play hard, they're gonna play fast, and they're gonna play together. And it's all about togetherness. So me and Coach Burris, Coach Cozy, we're gonna put the best product out there on the field, and they're gonna play hard. So that's one thing y'all gonna know. If y'all hear me say it right now, that we're gonna play hard and physical. And I know there's probably a former O-line. Give me any former O-lineman in here? There we go. I see how you're looking at me. It's a different look. It's a different look. It starts up front, right? All right, so definitely excited at, man. And as of practice right now, the guys, they're working hard. Again, I don't, to be honest, I don't think they've been pushed as much as they've had, since I've gotten here. It was a little rough. It was a little rough when I first got here, because they looked at me like, man, what is this guy talking about? What is this guy talking about? Hey, man, I just want you to do right. Because what you got to understand is, we're developing men. We're developing young men. It's bigger than football. Obviously, we want to win. We want to win games. All right, but I tell them the first and foremost, we're here to graduate. You get a degree from FAMU, that's important, right? Get your degree. All right, then win ball games, right? We want to win. All right, that keeps me, employed, and that keeps us going. And leave here a better man. Character is so important. Character is so important, man, and that's one of the first things as far as when I'm evaluating old linemen is character. I asked when I first got there, I said, Coach, what have we called somebody on this guy? What kind of person is he? First and foremost, and obviously they're young men, and it's our job as coaches to put them in the right position to be successful. But we want to get quality people in here first that can play football, right? But so that is very important. So again, thanks for having me. I'm excited about this opportunity. Look forward to meeting you, on the sideline or out on the streets, man. If you see me, please come walk up to me, shake my hand. Let's get to know each other, all right? But we're gonna put the best product on the football field. Thank y'all.
Last night, every other night we get a full-time coach speak to the team about football IQ, right? So we steadily talk about situational football, and so last night was his night to talk about leverage, and as an offensive lineman, right? Low man always wins, and he did a great job last night talking about it. I mean, even our punters were worried about what their leverage was, because of how much he was talking about it. And I said, hey, punter, don't worry about your leverage. Just punt the ball, please. But I gotta just warn you now. So your O-line questions are gonna come from right over there. They wanna know about feet and stand on blocks. Okay, all right. And then now, when you talk about these personal foul penalties, now listen, personal foul penalties. Who's gonna talk to him about that? Who's that right here? So we get 2 personal fouls. I'm bringing you behind here with me. Okay, it won't be just be by myself. But yeah, no, I mean, and he's right. We play to the whistle, play to the echo of the whistle, play hard. And I think that's the biggest thing that I have noticed with those guys. I mean, we got a talented group, and yes, having 4 seniors and a junior, that helps us tremendously offensively, because again, and then to go along with the backs that we have, right? Especially early in the year, trying to work a new quarterback in, right? We got to be able to run the football, and then those are things that those are things we know, and I'm pretty sure those are some of the things the other teams know as well. But just go ahead and stack the box if you want, and I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it at that. But our offensive coordinator, who's also assistant head coach and our quarterback coach, and I know he's been here before, but please don't let him talk about offense too long, because we got to go. Okay, we do have to leave. But here's our assistant head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, Coach Henry Burris.
Appreciate you. How's everybody doing today? Oh, man, it's always refreshing to come back, and great to see you again, sir. Great to see you. Great to see all your beautiful faces, and hope your families are all doing well. But, talking about the 2025 edition of the FAMU Rattlers offense, and again, our motto is we're going to strike, and strike again. But it comes with setting the right foundation, setting the standard as far as in the direction that we want to go. And when Coach Colsey, made the decisions of bringing in the gentlemen that are now on the staff, including Coach Cedric Williams, I can tell you right now, we developed a great friendship. We developed a great business relationship, a great level of respect, and we've created a great culture for us to be able to build that standard too, that our players must now work hard to achieve each and every day. And we hold our players to that standard where they play with relentless attitude to make sure that each and every objective, each and every day that we can achieve, we hold them accountable, because they are still young men, because they have to understand in this world today, nobody's going to give you anything. You got to work your butt off to achieve it. Nobody's going to go out there on that field and say, oh my gosh, it's FAMU, we're not going to play. Oh no, everybody wants to play FAMU because it's FAMU. And we have to make sure when we step on that field, we understand the history, the culture, and the consistency of success that it took for FAMU to develop the reputation that it has over the years. And we will uphold that standard. And that's what we're holding our guys to each and every day, as well as the staff. We hold ourselves to that standard. But it's been a blessing in disguise because whether it's Coach Cedric Williams, Coach Kevin Maurice, also a former quarterback of the FAMU Rattlers, Coach Vincent Jeffries, our wide receiver coach, who was a former Rattler quarterback. We've built a fantastic relationship, and we enjoy coming to work each and every day. We all learn from each other, make each other better, push each other to make each other the best that we can be, not only individually, but as a staff. So therefore, we can present the best game plan day in and day out for our players to go out and execute. We try to find the things that make our guys tick, but we also try to make sure we find out the things that our guys struggle with as well. And I know for me, that kind of helps me just transcend right into the quarterback world because, again, you look at a guy like Jet Petty who just arrived just over a month ago, JUCO All-American quarterback from Long Beach City College. He's coming in, he's slinging it. But you can also see the times when he's like, do I sling it, do I not? RJ John from Atlanta transferred from Toledo, Ohio, as far as with the Toledo Rockets. He's coming in, you can see the plays where, man, he just lets it rip. But then there's those plays he's like, okay, what do I do here? But these are the things that comes with what is called growing pains. Because despite the talent for quarterbacks, it's all about the mental. You see a kid like Tyler Jefferson, who's from right down the street, went to Hawthorne High School. This kid's got immense talent. But now we're finding out the things that he's strong at and the things that we need to continue to build on as far as on the weakness end. But that's all as far in the growth of getting to know these young men. But like Coach Cedric said, we're all focused on them as men first, then as players second. But then for us, I'm going to tell you about a kid who is going to be the future of FAMU. This kid is bright. He still is a redshirt freshman, Traven Green. This kid has a bright future ahead of him because you see him galvanizing, and embodying the attitudes of all the guys around him. He's taken the lessons, written down the notes, and he's a young kid that's coming on. Even though right now he's our fourth quarterback, but again, you can see the future is bright for a kid like himself. He's that kid who sits in the back, is just quiet, doesn't really say much, but everything you say, he's a sponge soaking up that information. But in the end, I just want to say we're going to have a fantastic quarterback battle because right now they have four guys. But I've got to give the two guys ahead of them, kind of the edge right now when it comes to Jet Petty and RJ Johnson. These two kids are going out battling. When one guy makes a throw, the next one's like, oh, my gosh, I got to match that. He comes back and makes a throw. But then they'll have a couple of mistakes. We'll talk about it as far as the meetings. They'll grow from it, learn from it, come out the very next day, they'll execute it. Now you're starting to hear these guys. At one point, they were a little bit shy of speaking to Ashton Gray. We'll say, no, Ashton, you got to block that guy. They were shy at doing that. But now you're starting to see their voices lift up. Because they know in order for us to have success, the quarterback has to take control. The quarterback has to take control. The guys around them are asking for it. Look at the talent that we have. All these guys has to go out and do is just operate, manage, and control the machine of the players that they have around them. That's one thing about FAMU. We always have great athletes, guys that are capable with speed on the outside, power on the inside, win between the hashes, dominate outside. We will torch you on the outside. That's our motto. We will win between the hashes, win between the tackles, and if you start to add extra guys in the box, and our motto with our speed, we're going to torch you outside these hashes. That's our motto. That's our mentality going into this season. I told the guys, if you don't expect to go out here and get after teams day in, day out, do not even step in this locker room because we do not need you. We want guys that want to be the best that can be because we're going to play some good teams at home this year, and we must represent Bragg. And it starts with us each and every day having that mindset and coming out, looking forward to dominating our opponent, but doing our job. Control the controllables, and all the uncontrollables, we can control them as long as we do our job. Do your 111th, and in the end, we will be successful. And so trust me, we're getting these young quarterbacks ready, and when we do make that announcement here on an upcoming Wednesday, you will know that we put these guys through the vigors. We made them strain. We made them stress. We put them through everything. So therefore, when we step out there on game day on a Saturday, it's a reward for them. So I appreciate you guys all the time for your time and all your support, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys. Trust me, it wouldn't be possible. We love you guys. Thank you for having us, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Get ready for game day. Can't wait. Thank you.
Just talking about the discipline aspect because we have all of our things going on in practice, but when team goes on, obviously defense is on one side and offense is on the other. So today we were getting ready to start. I think it was the win the down period, and in the win the down period we had a couple third down calls, and then we had a couple fourth down calls. So Coach Burris and Coach Williams are on the sidelines. I leave the middle of the field because I got to go to the defensive sidelines because I'm calling the defensive plays, and the offense ran out there on the field, and so when they run out, defense we run out. Well, then Coach Burris called him back, right? Because I don't think they ran out on the field like they were supposed to. So Coach Williams called him back, and then asked him to sprint to the field. Well, for me, I thought it was a pretty good sprint. Apparently, it wasn't because he had the offense doing up downs. So I thought they ran pretty well, personally, but it wasn't good enough for Coach Burris. Them guys were doing up downs. So defensive guys, we're sitting there just looking at them do up downs, and then they went out there and that next play they gashed us for about 40 yards. So then I had the defense come to the sideline and say, hey man, y'all run out there on the side, run to the field like the offense did. But it goes hand in hand. I can say this, which and being a part of teams that have won championships and playing and coaching, you like it every day when the offense and defense switch on who wins or who has the best day. And I think that we've had that, right? One day defense will come out and do a good job. The offensive coaches get them together and get them in the film, and then that next day, you best believe the offense wins that next day. And then the following day, maybe defense may have a little bit of the edge, and then that next day, offense, does some things to take advantage. So we compete every day, and for me, that's the sign of a very, very good football team. Now, we're slowly but surely putting things together, working on different situations, and it's week 2 of training camp. We have for the most part stayed extremely healthy. The guys are buying into everything that we're doing. But as a coaching staff, just so you guys know, we got to just make sure we get them to the finish line, right? The mindset is to try to, punch, play hard and practice hard and hit hard. But, we have 30 days to get ready for the first game of the year when we started training camp. So now we're in the middle. The biggest thing for us is fundamentals, details, making sure we're disciplined in all the things that we do, because we got a very, very fast football team. We have a very, very strong football team. We're going to fly around offensively and defensively, but the fundamentals and the details will get us to where we need to get to. So I know I'm not going to be the only one that's getting questions, so we're open to anything that you guys may ask. And then Vaughn, I want to just share something at the end with everybody, if we could.
Okay, this question online is for Coach Williams.
Yes, sir.
Coach, how does the center guard combination look that's critical for running the football? Go to the
Y'all
mic.
both come on up here because they're gonna ask everybody. just be ready.
All right. So the question is, how does the guard center combination look? Well, right now we got Ricky Taylor starting at center. Ashton Gray was our starting right guard, and also putting Ashton at center, because I think he has a chance to play at the next level. And if he's playing any of the guard spots, he has to be able to snap the football. So I'm having him play center as well. And also we got Charles Davis, who played left tackle last year. I got him at left guard. Centers and guards, as y'all know, they get the run game going. So you got to be strong up the middle. And I think I got 3 quality centers that's going to help us really be really, really good. I want to use another word, but I can't say that. But it's going to help us be really good up front.
All right, Chris. We don't have no filter. It's unfiltered.
All right, this is for all 3 of y'all. Coach Cozy,
Yes, sir.
William, and what's your name? All right. Y'all heard blood, sweat, and tears? I'm telling my age now, but blood, sweat, and tears, that's what Jay Gaither's thing. You had to be agile, mobile, and
Hostile.
hostile.
And hostile, agile, mobile, and hostile. I got it in my notes right now.
So what he basically was saying, and then also there was something Leroy can testify that something called the pit. That if you make it at the pit, you could play ball for him. And based on what you're saying, Coach Williams, I think that's what you are trying to inspire into the guy.
that if you, even though I'm your best friend, you know, you had to make it out the pit.
Sir.
And the one that make it out the pit is the one who played ball that week. I might have played with you all through high school. And we come to FAMU, you had to go into the pit. And when you come out of the pit, you was ready to play ball for Jake Gaither because you had to be agile,
Mobile and hostile.
Hey, Carter.
Mr. Vaughn, real quick.
Carter, can you bring some of your shirts up here so when they finish, because people online say they want to see the shirts.
Just want to make sure we're clear. And this is 2025, and I don't know if we can use the pit anymore. And I know what you mean, okay? You don't know what they're listening to. Them pits with Coach Gaither, those were different pits. Okay? But we know what you mean. We definitely know what you mean.
Coach, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your job.
No, ma'am. I'm listening.
But from experience with my 2-year-old great nephew,
Yes.
you tell those defensive guys to grab those guys around their ankle.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't try to knock the ball down.
Yes, ma'am.
Grab them around their ankles so they won't get away.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I mean, we have some guys, if you try to go at their ankles, you're going to miss. So you better get more than the ankles.
I'm sure this one for Coach Williams.
I ain't no doubt. I already know.
Hey, Coach.
I've been answering his question.
How we doing?
Doing fine, doing fine. I just wondering, we know we have two types of block. You have running block and you have your passing block. I wonder what kind of you teach your guys which one. You know, sometimes we get in the passing block and the defense know when we don't pass. The running, they know when we don't do it. Do we go into a sudden position that, you know, which alignment and assignment,
Yeah.
So we don't see what kind of passing block you have and the running block. Do you go in the same formation or what?
Well, what's your name, by the way?
Jones.
Jones, Mr.
Leroy.
Jones.
Yes, Leroy.
Leroy Jones. All right, full name. All right, pleasure to meet you, sir. All right. First of all, I think it's important to get in a balanced stance.
Right.
You don't ever want to give away if you're running or you're passing the football. So I try to emphasize to the guys every day to try to get in a balanced stance, because the stance, footwork, hand placement. So obviously a play is called, and it's important that you get in a balanced stance. So therefore, if we audible, and if a run play is called, you got to be able to operate get in a passing stance. So I think it's important to get in a balanced stance. That way you're not giving it away for the defense. Right. I got a tackle right now. One of my young men, he's getting where his feet is back a little far, right. And now the defensive guys are yelling,
no,
pass.
That's right. That's what I was saying. Yes.
So we're looking at the film. I said, listen, man, we got to fix this stance.
Yes.
You got to get a little more balance. So now we're not giving away to the defense, right. And then they're throwing the football, they're running the football. So it's important to try to emphasize that and practice it every day, getting in a proper stance.
Yes.
So we can't give it away to defense. So.
That's what I was saying. Once they get in their stand, you know, most of the time defense, if you're on the offensive stand, you lean in one way, what the first thing hits you on that side and keep you going that way. But if you're in a banner stand,
yes, sir,
they can't come through. You know, I always tell them, say, look here, if you make contact with that defensive player, stay till you hear the whistle blow. You stay right with them until you hear the whistle blow. But a lot of them will get in and make good contact, but they lose focus. They let them go by, and then they're looking behind them. But I was wondering, do you teach that, you know, get in your good stand and make sure you have your footwork and everything. 95% is footwork.
And another thing, Mr. Jones, stay in a balanced stance like we talked about, and also, you know, work on the balls of your feet.
Yes.
You don't want to play on your toes, right? You play on your toes,
Woo!
so you can lose balance. So we try to stay on the balls of our feet. now
But
we're on the same page, right?
That's what I be looking at when they come up to the line of scrimmage. When they come up to the line of scrimmage, if what you be running? Were you running zone blocking or what?
Don't answer that question.
I like her.
Don't answer that question.
They don't need to know we're running, right?
Don't answer that question. Coach Cozy, all the answers you gave Leroy, he wasn't ever as satisfied as he was just then, huh?
I know. Coach, name, whatever. From what I'm hearing, right now we will start this season as a running team. Is that pretty much what, you don't have to answer it, but from what I'm hearing.
The question for us, and that's just day one philosophy, right? We're gonna be able. We want to run the football and stop the run. Like that's what we have to do. So based on what teams are doing to us offensively and defensively, will dictate other things. But philosophy, offensively and defensively, offense, run the football. That's what we're gonna do.
So
defensively, we got to stop the run. You guys saw us the last few football games. We were last few football games of the year. We were very different offensively. Where we were run heavy, right? But we were still airing the ball out, right? It was just based on what teams were showing us on defense, and then we having the ability to change some things. Now, again, yes, we got a great offensive line. We got great backs. Still trying to, understand and figure out what our quarterbacks can do best. So naturally, that's the thing that you would hope that we do and think that we do. But if you think we're going to run the ball and you're going to stack the box with 8, I hear Coach Burris on offense getting mad at the quarterbacks when there's 7 in the box and they're still giving the football, right? Because when there's 7 in the box, we should now be doing what? We should be throwing it. So yes. To everybody watching out there, yep, we're going to run the ball 65 times. We ain't going to throw it but 5. Okay? All right? So that's all. But that's the biggest thing that Coach Burris is trying to instill is that, yes, you know what? This is what we want to be. This is who we have to be. All right? But you defense may dictate what we may do. But that's the biggest thing our quarterbacks have to understand. What are teams trying to do to us? And then take advantage of it. Because we haven't said it yet, but our wide receivers are electric. They are electric. So, again, if you want to stop the run, then now you're telling us we got to throw the football, which now we may now have one-on-one matchups. Okay?
Now, the last thing I'm going to say on that, Coach, on that running game, the outside officials, if we're running the ball, you need to know prior to the game which foot will be the marking foot. Which foot? Left foot or right foot? See, because you're talking about a possibility of 10, 12 inches difference. So if we running, get that from your officials, which foot is going to be the marking foot. Okay?
You talk about one of the elder members of the Big Ben officials for decades. So I have to defer to Boss Man on that one. That he knows what he's talking about.
I thought Boss Man was sick. He didn't ask no questions. And trust me, if he's worried about the foot of the official, we are doing okay. We're doing fine. If that's what he's worried about, I promise you. Normally it depends on what sideline they're on, right? We're always hoping for that outside foot, right? So depending on what sideline, it could be left or it can be right. You're 1,000% correct.
Yeah, Steve, I think that Steve Campbell online, he said this is the part that people tune into the 220 Club for. I agree with you, Steve. It is quite entertainment. And since we don't want to be a free internet streaming scouting report, we're going to end the questions right here. And because we do know the other schools tune in because they be talking junk in the chat.
Yeah, we are. With Coach Burris, Coach Burris is going to put the option in tomorrow. We're going to go back to the veer. And what defense you want? You want me to run a 5-2, don't you? It's a 5-2. That's what we're doing. That's what we got. I mentioned the 4-2-5. She goes, tell them we're running a 4-8. A 4-8? What is 4-8? But, hey, again, always thank you for allowing us to be here each and every Wednesday. Miss Jackson, is she back there? Is Miss Jackson back there? She'll be back? Okay. Somebody just silently tell her the number is going to be 100. So just silently just say that in her ear. 100 players are going to be at the church this upcoming Sunday. Okay? But, again, thank you for everything, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. Coach, can I just say something to you real quick? So it's been kind of silently something that we've been thinking about doing, and I've been given the go ahead from people in our marketing, and so this upcoming year, this upcoming year, we're gonna dedicate 4 of our homecomings. Excuse me, 4 of our home games, not counting homecoming, to coaches that have won, in our opinion, that have won national champions. So our first home game. So just for an example, our first home game will be Albany State. So we're going to invite the family members and past players of Coach Gaither. So then now when you go to the next home game, it'll be when we play Alabama State, we're gonna dedicate that game to the players that have played for Coach Hubbard. All right. So we're going to each game minus homecoming, the coach that we want to make sure we celebrate are Coach Gaither, Coach Hubbard, Coach Riley, and Coach Joe. So we just whether there's a riff or not a riff, we just want to make sure that we honor each coach for that individual football game. So we're going to have some videos, and there's a lot, Coach Roll has been at every practice of training camp, and him and I have had great discussions about it. Coach Hubbard is on board to do some videos. So I'm going to be leaning on you guys just to make sure that when we get the message out, that we just promote it as much as we can. And obviously, just in my opinion, my whole thing was only choosing 4. We may be missing some coaches, but I did think that it was important to make sure we just got those 4 coaches honored. So I want to make sure I say this correctly. The Albany State game, we'll be honoring Coach Gaither, his players, and family members of those players. The Alabama State game, we will be honoring Coach Hubbard and his former players / family. The North Carolina Central game, we will be honoring Coach Riley's former players and then their families. And then the Jackson State game, it'll be Coach Joe, former players and things like that. So you may be getting some calls, some emails, as you will definitely be getting both calls and emails. We're going to definitely want you to be, someone who's speaking on some of those things. So just, if you think it's a good idea, let me know. That's just something that we've been trying to do, and just dedicating to those great coaches that have had an enormous amount of success at Florida A&M. So thank you for everybody yet again. See you next week.
Coach, I love that idea. When we're looking on the national scene and they're not trying to scrub museums of the history, it's important that we reiterate our own history and how great we were as an institution and still are as an institution, and how this institution has survived. The only other coach that won a championship, and I'm sure it would be hard to honor him, was Bill Bell, who won the first championship, but that was a long, long time ago, and you would have more success of the 4 coaches that you have on there for this year. We'll make sure we don't forget Bill Bell and what he did, though, because he started off. But I think that's a great idea. And one thing about Coach Cozy, he has always been big on instituting the FAMU tradition and understanding the FAMU tradition. Too many times we've had coaches that come in that don't even want to try. But it's important that we maintain our history, continue our history, and put his fresh spin on what he's doing and update it. So we really appreciate that, Coach. We've got some more donations in. Rick Kinsey, who I just talked about, who helped get the golf canopy for the golf team. Rick Kinsey and Pickett did that. He just sent $100 to nutrition. Gary Watson, he said, I don't cash out, but I'll meet you with a check for $200. So I say, Gary, we'll take it. Gary's a former great Rattler football player. He was offensive lineman. Gary was from FAMU, high-end FAMU. So if you are online watching us, please, our push right now is for nutrition. You can cash out $220QB Club. Make sure you put your name in there so we can credit you. Or if you're doing it directly to the foundation, the account is number 2148, 2148 for the nutrition. We got to make sure all of our student athletes have that extra edge. The nutrition equates to energy. That's what Coach Sims told us last week. Nutrition equates to recovery. So we have to make sure that those are within our grasp to help with those things for our university. I'd also like to say that, remind everyone that on the 22nd, the Rays playing at Yankee Stadium will be honoring Amber Fullwood, a former FAMU softball player, great. Tampa. What? Tampa Yankee Stadium. It's Steinbrenner Field, right? George Steinbrenner Field. The Tropicana, they're putting a new roof on there, but it'll be at Tampa's Yankee Stadium, which is called Steinbrenner Field. She'll be throwing out the first pitch of the game. And they're also, and that's because she is going into the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. So when the Rays found out about it, they invited her to throw out the first pitch. But also, Marvin, can you come up and help me with that event that's going? There is Marvin Green, the director of athletic fundraising and giving. They're having an event that night, and as opposed to me sitting and botching it up, when I saw him, I was like, Marvin, come do this. Coaches, thank y'all very much. I know y'all got to go break down film and all that.
Good afternoon. It's Major Gift Officer. I want to make sure I'm not Director of Athletic Fundraising. The Major Gift Officer for the Marching 100 and the FAMU Athletics. But on August the 22nd at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida, Amber Fullwood will be throwing out the first pitch. They also are going to actually be allowing Coach Ward and Coach Gordon to be on the field as well during the national anthem. So it's going to be a big weekend for FAMU. They're going to be giving out special Devil Rays hats, and from 3 to 6 p.m., we have a pregame social event in Tampa. So you'll be seeing that flyer. That flyer is out. If you know anybody in Tampa, have them come out, celebrate with us, celebrate with Amber Fullwood, her family. Of course, Coach Ward and Coach Gordon will be there as well. Coach Cozy couldn't make it, of course, because of practice. But one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to get on the road. We're trying to make sure that people know that we're coming into their cities. We've been to Atlanta, been to Jacksonville, going to Tampa next week to raise money for FAMU Athletics and the Marching 100. So, Vaughn, that's what we're doing. We're just trying to make sure that we continue to pour into our student athletes, pour into our band members as well, and give them all the resources they need to be successful. So thank you, Vaughn. And, of course, September 26th, the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame will be having its annual induction. We have 15 new members going into the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. One of your very own, Roy Moore, will be going in for his financial contributions. So we appreciate all that all of these individuals have done and how they have represented FAMU over the years. So we just want to say we got another great class, 15 great members. Our information will be online. It is online if you want to buy your tickets, purchase your tickets for the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame induction. Thank you so much.
All right. And just a reminder that the Marching 100, speaking of the Marching 100 will be doing a Battle of the Bands on, I want to say, the 23rd in Houston, then flying to New York to perform at the U.S. Open on that Wednesday because they are having a special celebration, the 75th year since Althea Gibson won the U.S. Open. So they're going to have the Marching 100 on center court. I can't wait to see it. I will be there. I won't be here that Wednesday. Just letting you know, I'll be in New York. And then that weekend is the Orange Blossom Classic, the history making Orange Blossom Classic for the Marching 100, because it'll be the first time that the Marching 100 has had a female head drum major. I can't wait to see it. She's amazing. Alua Madupe Aloyede. Boy, I said that good, didn't I? I've been kidding Joe Bullock. When are we going to start practicing? Because we got to get him ready. He's not going to mess it up. We're going to practice him. He's going to get that right. Because I had to practice. I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm not going to be shy about this. I had her to say her name and send it to me on my phone so I could hear her say it. That's how I learned how to say her name. Yeah. But she's an amazing young lady, and she'll be leading the Marching 100. And before we leave, I got to tell y'all about the party animal in this room that I did not know was a party animal. I happened to be DJing somewhere, and we could not get this guy to sit down. Corky Norwood. Corky was getting it in, y'all. That's my guy, though. Any first-time visitors? Anybody who hasn't been here before? All right, if you're online, $220qbclub.com if you want to send a cash app. FAMU Foundation, account number 2148. And people online said they wanted Carter to show the shirts. Can you bring the shirts up so they can see? You didn't bring me one of them hooded ones. I like the hooded one. You have 4, sir. Oh, okay, I do. You did. This one has a hood. I know for everybody online, this one has a hood. His website is realwordsapparel.com, real, W-O-R-D-S, apparel.com. And so for the people online who inquired about it. He has all different colors back there.
4 colors.
4 colors. All right. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Oh, another check? All right. Mr. Ansley, another $100 for nutrition. We got to feed these athletes. We need more hundreds. If you're online, help us out to make sure we can feed our student athletes across all sports. All right? Everybody's about to crank up. Volleyball got to defend the SWAC. Golf about to crank up. They got to defend the SWAC. Cross country trying to get their second cross country championship. Everybody's in full swing. And so, question? His question was, can he give money for nutrition every Wednesday? Absolutely. Every day we're open, you can contribute to nutrition. I promise you we won't turn you away, Wilma. Okay, if you need a 220 Club polo shirt, the next order will be going out soon, so please see Wilma to get your shirt. Or is there anything else for the good of the order? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Before we go any further, hold on. We need to have a moment of silence because we lost another great rattler. Great rattler. What's Mr. Jack Gant? And I know his funeral is Friday. And Dr. Ossifield Anderson, his funeral is Saturday. These are 2 great rattlers that we lost, and I just want everybody to take a second of silence for our fallen rattlers. Okay. Zach?
Just wanted to make an announcement that Mr. Carter, back there that's doing the T-shirts, has made a commitment to becoming a Life Booster member.
All right, Mr. Carter will be a new Life Booster member. All right. Thank you. All right, everybody, we will see you next Wednesday. And I think Coach Coles is going to name the quarterback next Wednesday. So we want everybody tuned in. We'll see you next Wednesday.